Hi folks, welcome to this week's Inside Track, the Scottish Sun. Got Jim Delahunt here with me as usual. Jim, we've got a big weekend of graded action, big races, small fields. I mean, doesn't have the feel to me of a huge punting card, which is maybe not the best way to open up a a betting programme. But have you found a few in the card? Obviously, we start off with a Betfair Chase. I think we've got five runners in that. We've got the 1965 Chase at Ascot. We've got the John Durkin, the Morgiana.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, over in Ireland. So we've got a lot of classy action, but we'll start off with a Betfair Chase. And what do you think the shape of that race?
Yes, I mean it's a good weekend. There's no doubt about that. There's plenty of clues for us for the future. As you say, some really good racing. Whether there are betting races or not, we'll probably find out over the next 20 minutes as we work our way through them. The Irish racing Saturday and Sunday is good again. It was tremendous last week that they switched the Navan Saturday card onto the Monday. I thought that was a fantastic move. It's something they do very often in Ireland. It's nothing new. But it was great to see it. It really brightened up my Monday. I don't know about you, but it certainly improved things for Monday as we were all looking forward to that football on Wednesday night, of which I'm sure all the other podcasts will talk about. So we'll stick to the horses. But yeah, good racing this weekend. I think it says it all though, Robert, that I haven't a clue what my Saturday nap is going to be yet, and it's Friday morning. But we'll certainly have another look this afternoon once we've done the video. And the Betfair Chase, as you say, is the highlight in terms of money. It's a 200 grand race, as we all know, but there are only five runners. Fascinating to see last year's first and second back again. I just wonder if it's soft enough for Royal Pagaille, but I suppose we'll find that out on Saturday afternoon. Handstands, I think, is a very nice young horse, 6-year-old on the up. I think that's going to be the danger to my selection, which is not, funnily enough, the favourite Grey Dawning. I'm actually going to go for Haydock. So I'm tipping an Irish Grand National winner to win a Betfair Chase. Doesn't seem very logical on the face of it, but Haydock is now rated 154. Still leaves him £12 short of Grey Dawning, which is quite a gap to fill. But always think once you go up to 3 miles and 3 miles plus, those pounds don't quite matter so much as they do in flat races. So I think Haydock is an improving horse. He's not a young horse. He's an 8-year-old, so he's been a slow burner, but he has won at Cheltenham. He has won an Irish Grand National. He wasn't going to win that hurdles return a couple of weeks ago until the leader made a terrible blunder at the last, and Sean Bowen suddenly thought, "Oops, I'm going to have to go and win this," which he did, which really just rubber stamped the fact that the horse was well. I think Rebecca Curtis had wanted to go for the Coral Gold Cup at Newbury, but it soon became apparent that Sean Bowen wasn't going to be available for that. He's going to be riding Resplendent Grey, of course. And in fact, I think the fact you get Sean Bowen in a 200 grand race on your horse, you knew there was not going to be many runners. I think Rebecca Curtis has made the right decision. And I think Haydock Allures, fit and well, could be good enough to win this and beat the higher profile horses, if you like. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I really disagree, Jim. I'll not be having a bet in the race. I mean, it'll be a great race to watch. I think you're right with Royal Pagaille. I don't think it'll be soft enough for that one. Handstands is a young up and comer in the race. He's obviously a fascinating contender,
Yeah.
but from a punting point of view, not for me. I'll just watch it and enjoy it. But you would take Sean Bono or Harry Skelton, would you?
In,
Who's
in
that
this
driving
in this
finish?
particular race, yes, I would, and I also have to confess I took 4-1 last week. It's probably going to be 3-1, 7-2. I won't be getting in again. I've had a small bet, and we'll just see how Haydock Allures gets on in the Betfair. I do think it's got a really good chance, though, a really good chance.
Yeah. Well, we start off at 12:08, Jim, and I believe you've got one in that at
Yeah,
Haydock.
it's Sean Bowen again. I'm afraid I don't want this to be a running theme, but it's 9-4 this time. Stick to the plan. A Grade Two winner at Chepstow last time runs in this Grade Two Newton Novices Hurdle at Haydock this week. It's interesting. I think that Willie and Nigel Twiston Davis run two here. The only one with a realistic chance, I think, is Masked Man. But the reason I mention that is that Willie, in all his interviews, mentions this horse every time. They really rate this Masked Man. JJ Slevin will be riding it, of course, because it will be in the Munir suede colours. He, of course, has a retainer for that ownership partnership, despite the fact that I think Bryony Frost is over this weekend, but she rides all the French horses. JJ rides the ones over here. Masked Man, I think, will have a big chance. It'll be a very short price, but I'm going against it with the second favourite. Stick to the plan. I think it's quite an experienced horse for Ollie Murphy. And I think it can give the £5 to Masked Man. That's a 4-year-old allowance. stick to the plan. At 9-4 would be my selection in the opening race, the Newton Novices Hurdle.
Yeah, and then in the 12:40 2 mile handicap chase, the ex James Ewart angle is one that we've had plenty of fun with over the last few weeks. So I'm going to go in there again with Escape and Evade, who has joined Harry Derham. Obviously, we know what Skelton's done with this at
Yeah.
last. Tom Lacey took one, he's won with it. So I think Harry Derham might win a race with an ex James Ewart horse this time. Really interesting recruit for that stable. They ran it at Worcester, first time up for them, finished second. The winner that day, Highland Legacy, was only just beat narrowly at Ainty a couple of weeks ago from Mambo number 5. So he seems in good fettle. I mean, Escape and Evade, when he was trained up here in the north, he beat horses like Operation Overlord, Lord Gold de Bois, Lord Rocco, some pretty good animals up here. So softening ground as well will help him. But he was rated 133 at one point for James. He's had a bad wee while. He's now off 121. So I think Escape and Evade, just with the stable switch, Harry Derham's a stable in form as well now. So I think that one will definitely go close there. So have you got anything in the same race, Jim?
Yeah, like you, I can see the angle for Escape and Evade. The ex-Ewart horses are just doing tremendously well. It's just a shame that James has had to pack it in. But I'd love to see Harry Reid get a nice winner on TV as well on Escape and Evade. But the one I've had my eye on all week for this race, and I was hoping it was going to run. Nicky Richards actually had two in the race. He's ended up with this one, Sunny Villa. Danny McMenamin rides. Finished second at Ayr back in February. We haven't seen it since. It wasn't a bad run. Obviously, the horse has had its problems, but it beat Serendipity, an old favourite of yours, first time out at Haydock last season. Resumes on the same mark as the end of last year, 120. Nicky's had most of his horses ready first time out. I know he did a lot of racecourse galloping a few weeks ago, and Sunny Villa is the one for me. But yeah, I can see the angle with Escape and Evade, no doubt about that.
Yeah. Last week, Jim, you put up Cormier for the Greatwood. Didn't get in. He runs here at the 115 on Saturday. Are you going to run with him again?
Yeah, I hope everybody got their money back because it's always been a bugbear of mine that when a horse is balloted out of a race and you've been betting anti-post, there really isn't much publicity to tell you that
Hmm.
that horse has been balloted out. So you really have to check your bets. Now, anybody who did have a bet on Cormier last week, like myself, anti-post, you would have got your money back because it wasn't Connection's fault the horse didn't run. It missed the cut by 1 or 2, I think, in the Greatwood Hurdle. So it was declared a non-run. Sorry, it wasn't declared a non-runner. It was balloted out. So I do hope if you had a bet on Cormier last week, you got your money back. If you want to reinvest it this week, it's a 14-1 chance this week. Obviously, different circumstances. It's a 2.25 mile handicap hurdle at Haydock. But the key for me is that it's very similar to last week, Robert. Cormier has really slipped way down the ratings, and he slipped so far down the ratings on the flat that he won just before that race last week. He won 30 days ago in the flat, and that proved how well he was. I think they really did fancy him each way for that Greatwood Hurdle last week. Obviously, this is the second choice race for it, but it's a very valuable race at Haydock. And I think off the handicap market, 14-1, it has to be an each way play. So that's where I'm coming from there. Each way Cormier at around 14-1.
Yeah, I don't think either of us have got a bet in the 135, the 2 mile field graduation chase, but worth flagging up. It's going to be a fascinating little race. Although it does seem a bit bizarre that last year's Grand National favourite is running a graduation chase, but them's the rules, I suppose. But I mean, you've got Iroko, Nappers Hill back for Paul Nicholls after 700 days off. I mean, I know Paul Nicholls talks all these horses up, but he really liked that
Yeah.
one back in the day. He talked that one up a lot. You've got Butch for Ollie Murphy, the Jukebox Man for Ben Pauling. So that's a really interesting race with an eye to the future. I mean, you don't have a bet in this, Jim, but you would just be keeping an eye for further down the line.
Yeah, mate, very much so. And I do like the vibes that are coming from the Pauling yard about the Jukebox Man. They really seem to think this horse is ready to go first time out. 8-11's the price. Again, like you, I won't be having a bet, but really fascinating to see that the Jukebox Man, if he can carry on the progress he'd made last year before injury interrupted his campaign, I think that's going to be very, very difficult to beat. Like you, fascinating to see Iroko stuck in a race like this. He's only 2-1. I just can't see that he's going to win a race like this first time out. I'm sure they've got bigger targets in mind. Obviously, a Grand National horse last year, but the Jukebox Man, sometimes you might find that quite attractive, 8-11, but I think I'll just watch.
Yeah, definitely. And then 225, a fiendishly difficult 3 mile handicap hurdle. Now, you and I went head to head with Nab Wood and Whistle Stop Tour a couple of weeks ago at Ayr. You came out on top with Nab Wood, who runs in this race. But there was a horse in this race that I jotted down afterwards was Esprit de Poitiers for
Yeah,
Lucinda Russell, Michael Scudamore. Had been 700 odd days off the track. I thought it ran a really sent it out in front. I thought it really ran a really eye-catching race. It was bang there coming to last before the fitness just gave way after the long break. So I think if I mark 126, there's a bit of juice left in that. I think he could turn it to be a bit better than that. So he looks like a horse that could go close here. I like front runners at Haydock as well, so I suspect they'll send him out in front. But there's loads of dangers in this race. I mean, Phantom of the Points is one that's looked like up to winning a race like this. I mean, what happened in the fog at Chepstow last Christmas, we'll never know because we couldn't see it. But apparently, he jumped the last three lines clear and got beat into fourth, I think it was, because he bolted right after the last hurdle. But we'll never know what happened. We couldn't see it. He's had a wind operation, another one that'll be up with the pace. So at 20 to 1 for him, I thought he looked a decent price. Esprit de Poitiers 25 to 1. And then Nab Wood, Jim, the way he won it here, you probably couldn't put
yeah.
a red pen through him either, could you?
You really couldn't, and obviously I was hyper keen on Nabwood at Ayr and he won, so I was delighted about that. I certainly wouldn't rule him out this weekend. I see 16 to 1. I can see why there would be each way support for that. On a very much a plus side for your selection there, or the one you're putting forward here, Esprit de Poitiers. As you know, I've got a very privileged position at Ayr Racecourse. I'm standing right in the middle of the paddock before every race, and I see all the horses going round. And I did just scribble in my note race card that day that Esprit de Poitiers definitely would benefit from the race. So good luck to all connections. I know Derek Fox is riding that for Lucinda Russell and Michael Scudamore. I think that'll definitely run a good race. But I said at the top of the programme, I wasn't sure what my nap was going to be, but the one I'm edging towards at the moment, Robert, in this race is Navajo Indy, trained by Tom Simmons, ridden by Gavin Sheehan, who is riding out of his skin at the moment. He's got a tremendous percentage rate at the moment. Now, Navajo Indy bumped into one last time, and you mentioned getting the first two at Ayr. We had the first two at Cheltenham as well, because you tipped up the horse at one. It was trained by Philip Hobbs, and I tipped up Navajo Indy. They finished first and second. The exacta paid 50 to 1. But Navajo Indy, I thought, ran a really good race up to 2.5 miles that day. He goes to 3 miles on Saturday. And I think with the way his handicap mark is creeping up, and he went up £3 for getting beat at Cheltenham, the way his handicap mark is creeping up, you're going to have to do something to offset that. And I think the way they're trying to offset that is by stepping him up in trip, because if you look back at his 2 mile handicap form, 2 mile handicap hurdle form, it is very classy indeed. So stepping up to 3 for the first time, I'm very much edging towards napping Navajo Indy in the 225 at Haydock on Saturday. Everything in its favour.
And then 3:35, a 3 mile one handicap chase. Now, Jim, when we spoke about that Nabwood Whistle Stop Tour matchup, we
Yeah,
also mentioned Famous Bridge, who was
yeah.
another chaser running in that race. You said he's got a target further down the line. Do you think it's this?
I think this is one of them. Yeah, I think this is one of them. He runs off the same mark here as the mark that he won the Haydock Grand National Trial last year. And if you remember, he was actually disqualified much later for a banned substance, and the race was awarded to one of Lucinda Russell's. But he's back here off the same mark. He had that run over hurdles at Ayr. Nicky Richards did the post-race interview there, talking mainly about Nab Wood, but he was really pleased about the way Famous Bridge had run as well. It's very much Sean Quinlan's ride. He's in the saddle again. Top weight, I don't think it's a problem to a big, strong horse like that. So Famous Bridge is going to be my selection. Not quite at a good each way price for me, although it will be for some 6, 7 to 1. So I will have a bet on Famous Bridge, but I know you've got one against it.
Well, I mean, I'll be keen to see a Whistle Stop Tour runs. We've talked about him enough. Everybody knows what we think of him. He did show a
Yeah,
bit more spark over hurdles the last time.
he did.
I'll be eager to see how he runs. Jack Powell's good value for his £5 claim. Now, if Nab Wood comes out and wins the 3 mile hurdle, then you're going to have to back him. I just think they've got him down to 130, and do you want to blow that? If the Welsh National really is
Yeah,
the long term target, do you want to blow that? We'll see. About horses, you're better off winning the races that are in front of you rather than thinking
yeah.
about another day, because we know how fragile they are. Confusion for the Sue Smith yard as a horse going in the right direction. Certainly confused me when it won first time up, which shouldn't be happening, but everything's up in the air just now. But he's up another £10. Saladin's son, I thought was an interesting one for Anthony Honeyball, but we've spoke about Honeyball's record at Haydock before. He doesn't have a great record there.
It's not great,
It
no.
just seems to be a very unlucky track for him.
Although the horses are in sensational
Yeah,
form. I mean, they're winning right, left, and centre.
yeah. I mean, he's only had one winner for 36 runners, a lot of seconds in that and that. It just seems to be a place that I don't know what it's about it. He just doesn't seem to get any luck there at all. But I thought Saladin Sun would have a chance. But in terms of stables that are flying, Sam Thomas, we've talked about him for a few weeks now.
Yeah,
I thought Showman Uchi for him. He beat Butch at Carlisle after a long layoff last year. And I think if Butch runs well in the graduation chase, which I know that's a horse they think a lot of at the Ollie Murphy stable. So I think that form looks good. Butch will maybe give us an even better reading of it earlier in the card. It's obviously had problems, this horse, but with horses like that, always think trainers have got them really ready to go. So the first time out for a while doesn't bother me there. But so I thought Showman Uchi, just on that form of beating Butch at Carlisle, I thought he might just
yeah.
have a bit more to come. So famous bridge for you and Showman Uchi for me, but I'm not rolling it back in Whistle Stop Tour.
No, neither am I. And Whistle Stop Tour, although as you say, do you risk the handicapper taking a dim view of a very easy win here when it comes to the bigger races? I know you
Yeah.
mentioned the Welsh Grand National. Jack Power takes £5 off as well. That's got to be a +2. So we've talked our way. I think we've talked our way off the horse at the moment, but I think we'll both be looking at the price come Saturday morning. But famous bridge for me. Another word about Showmanucci, Charlie Deutsch rides. I mean, what a substitute that is, Charlie
Mm.
Deutsch. Dylan Johnson obviously goes to Ascot. We'll talk about that in a minute to ride Celtic Dino for Sam. But what a substitute, Charlie Deutsch in a chase at Haydock. So good luck with Showmanucci. I hope Famous Bridge runs a good race too, and we'll both be keeping an eye on Whistle Stop Tour.
Yeah, it's as clear as mud. So we'll head down to Ascot. We'll start off with this next 1965 chase, Jim. 2 mile 5. You've got Peak Dory coming back, course specialist. I mean, he's won 5 times at the track. He's going for 3 in a row in this race. You've got Django Bay, the winner of that crazy Arkle. But the form of that Arkle is really starting to work out now with
It
Ludus
really
winning
is.
last week. And you've the Henry de Bromhead one, which the name escapes me at the moment, but the form of that's starting to stack up. Then you've got Ile Francais, which a horse you never know what you're going to get from. I
Yeah.
mean, Kempton seems to be his thing. Will Ascot be his track? But it's going to be a fair pace burn up in this race between Pic D'Orhy and Ile Francais because both of them like to go forward. So I just wonder if they might just knock each other about and Django Bay might come and beat them. But again, it'll be one to watch for me. Watch with fascination. What about yourself?
Well, again, it's one to watch. I'll mention a horse that has jumped out at me in a second, but all the ones you mentioned there. I mean, Ile Francais. If we think he's a 3 mile Kempton horse, then 2 mile 5 round Ascot's going to be absolutely perfect because in terms of stamina, that's probably verging on the equivalent. A really strong run, 2 mile 5 furlong, and if he goes out in front, which we expect he will, it is going to be a strong run, 2 mile 5 furlong. I noticed James Reevely is in the saddle, is priced up as favourite in most books at the moment with Django By at 5-2. Nicky Henderson's horse is just coming right. Of course, he had the Gallops morning at Newbury the other day, which everybody's meant to watch and learn something from. Although how you could learn anything from that, I will never know. Gidley Park has been well talked up by Harry Fry. He's a 92 chance. And of course, how could you rule out Pic D'Orhy from winning? Going for 3 in a row, of course, 72. I thought that would be bigger. So I haven't had a bet. I'm not going to have a bet, but I think we should mention number 1 Master Chewy because Nigel and Willie Twiston Davis have a very, very high opinion of this horse. He's won 2 Grade 2 so far, and this is a Grade 2, and he's actually run in 6 Grade 1s. They rate this horse.
Hmm.
He maybe hasn't cut it at Grade 1 level yet, but he's got those 2 Grade 2s in the bag. And if anything is going to cause a minor surprise here in a 5 runner race, I think it might be Master Chewy. But I've not quite been convinced enough to actually have a bet. But I've pointed it out. There you go.
Yeah, I just wonder the pace setup of the race is a fascinating thing for me because you can just see Eli Francais and Peak Dory knocking lumps at each other
Yeah,
up front, and just might set it up for someone coming from behind. So a fascinating race, but you don't need to have a bet to enjoy it. And I
yeah.
think the next race, the Ascot Hurdle, the Grade 2, 2 mile 3, I think that falls into the same category for me. I mean, I just don't see anything in this field you can give wood to. The Martin Pipe winner for Gordon Elliott just don't see anything in this field that can give her weight. I mean, Crambo, we know what Crambo's like at Ascot. He's won his graded races at Ascot, but he has to give her £13. I just can't see him being able to do that. I mean, she franked her form at Ainty as well by coming out second behind Lossy Mouth. So I think she is a genuine graded horse, and I just can't see anything giving Wood who the weight in this race. But I think you differ. You've got a different opinion.
Yeah, but I really do differ in this one because I think Celtic Dino is an improving horse, and I always think if you're going to catch these horses, you have to catch them on the way up. There's no point in catching it next time out when he's 4-5. He's 11-2 going up in class. I think he's a bet on Saturday. Woodoo, of course, is on the ratings, is the best in, especially with the allowance that she's getting. Danny Gilligan in the saddle for Gordon Elliott. We've discussed Gordon Elliott in the last couple of weeks. His horses are really in good form. I thought he had a really good weekend last weekend, but you said he has a good weekend at that weekend all the time. So maybe there was nothing surprising about that. But in general, his horses are in form. Woodoo coming here instead of going to the Morgiana hurdle at Punchestown on Sunday. Yes, I have to admit that Luke's best in at the weights and is probably value if you can get 11-8 value, probably value for the heavier punters. But I think if you're going to catch Celtic Dino, this is the time to do it. Unless we get really heavy snow and that Ascot ground goes soft, in which case they'll probably take him out anyway. I think this is the time to have a crack at Celtic Dino in a good race, 2.5 miles, going up in class. Dylan Johnson, I think, is one of the best young jockeys around. He cannot claim his £3, which is just one of these things because it's a Grade 2 race. But I'm going to go for Celtic Dino. Nigel and Willie, I've mentioned quite a few times in this programme. I don't think they're quite on the mark with Potter's Charm, so I can't see that winning, despite it being shorter than Celtic Dino in the betting. Alto Belly always runs here at Ascot, but I think this will tee it up for a good handicap. Crambo, I can't see winning at 2.5, even though it's his favourite track. So I'm going to take Celtic Dino to beat Woodoo, and I'm quite happy with the 11-2.
Well, you get 6-1 now, Jim. I'm just looking into
Even better.
6-1. I mean, as much as I'm talking about Wood too, 5-4 is not my kind of bet.
Yeah.
It's, I just look at it and don't think anything give her the weight, but she can win at that price for me. But Crambo's the one that actually seems to be shortening here.
Interesting.
Crambo's the one, but I mean, obviously he's got a great record at the track, but I just don't see him being able to give her £13, eh?
Yeah,
But
I don't I just can't see it. I think it's the trip for Cramble for me. I think it was if it was 3 miles, obviously, you'd start to get a bit more interested, especially if it was 8-1. But no, I think there'll be speedier horses in this, but we'll see.
and then we'll go across the Punchestown, Morgiana Hurdle. I don't have a bet in it certainly, but Lossy Mouth seems to be with State Man out now. Lossy Mouth seems to be the Willie Mullins 2 miler.
Yeah, at last for some people, because so many people think this is a champion hurdler in waiting, and State Man being out, Lossiemouth seems to have been put forward as the main one for the Morgiana. But I noticed that Willie's running a lot this weekend, and obviously trying to find out a pecking order for both himself and his owners and his principal jockey Paul Townend. So again, it's one to watch for me. So Morgiana Hurdle, yeah, fascinating race. I'm always fascinated by all these small field graded races in Ireland, just to see how they work out in terms of the future. But like you, no bet.
Yeah, and then the John Durkin is a fantastic race on
Brilliant.
on Sunday at Punchestown. You got Fact to File against Gaelic Warrior, against Fast or Slow, against
Yeah.
the Gold Cup winner. I mean, it's just absolutely phenomenal stuff. Fact to File the one.
Yeah. Listen, the jockey Mark Walsh is getting off the Gold Cup winner. He's getting off the Gold Cup winner to ride Fact or File. I think you just don't look at any other horse. Now, in terms of actually watching the race, I'm watching it for Fast or Slow because I really think Fast or Slow is going to win a really big race. You never know, it could be Kempton, but Fast or Slow is the one I'll be watching during the race. But in terms of the betting for this race, I mean, if Mark Walsh is getting off the Gold Cup winner to ride Fact or File, I think you just close the book.
Yeah, I mean, Fact to File is the one in the race that wants this trip. I think
Yeah,
the rest of them are
I would
all
say.
they want something else. So
Yeah,
that's the thing that sticks out to me. But again, fascinating race. And then you'll have your column on Sunday. You'll go through the Sunday cards. The only one that I spotted the jumps are back at Windsor. I do like a Windsor jump
hey,
beating. The 108 on Sunday. Diamond Dealer broke her heart beating Cosmic Blizzard at Kelso after hitting about three fences. How he won that day, I don't know. But the form of that race has actually worked out quite well. I mean, the third was beat less than half a length the next time. The fourth
Yeah,
and fifth fought out the finish back there on Monday. So the form of that's got a wee bit of substance. We've not seen Cosmic Blizzard again. So Diamond Dealer was on the list, but I thought Hold Up the Coal Mine for Philip Hobbs and Johnson White was
yeah.
a really, really unlucky loser in February. I was actually down there that day. It bumped in, it got bumped around by a loose horse after the last. Got basically jumped to last about two lengths clear. Got taken off a straight line. Ended up finishing third about four lengths. Ended up always getting crashed into the rail. So I thought that was a very unlucky loser. Good to soft ground is good for him. If he's fit, I think he's got to go close. And I like the booking this morning of Callum Pritchard claiming five. So Hold Up the Coal Mine. The 108 at Windsor is the one I'm interested in there.
Well, I'll try and put a bit more on the Sunday racing in the column, in the diary column in the Scottish Sun on Sunday. But looking forward to a cracking day on Saturday. And fingers crossed, Robert, we can get a couple of winners this weekend.
Cheers, Jim. Good luck with your bets, folks.
Thanks, everybody.